Marka, cultural liaison for the Galactic Confederation Exchange Program, tapped her slender gray finger against the nutrient dispenser with growing impatience. The machine hummed, sputtered, and finally dispensed a perfectly balanced nutritional cube, tasteless, efficient, and completely safe. Just like everything else in Confederation space. Another thrilling meal, she muttered to herself, her oversized eyes blinking slowly in disappointment. The doors to the communal dining area of Starlight Station slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Trevor Washington, her human roommate and fellow exchange participant, strolled in, whistling a tune that made Marka's large, sensitive ears twitch uncomfortably. "Morning, Marka," Trevor said with a casual wave. "Mind if I join you?" Marka gestured to the empty seat across from her. "Not at all, Trevor, though I'm nearly finished with my sustenance." Trevor set down his tray, and Marquet's enormous eyes widened even further. His plate contained what appeared to be strips of some crispy brown material, yellow gelatinous ovals, and a steaming dark liquid that emitted an aroma that made her nostrils flare with alarm. "What in the seven systems are you consuming?" she asked, unable to mask her horror. Trevor looked down at his plate. Bacon, eggs, and coffee, standard Earth breakfast." "Want some?" Marka recoiled so violently she nearly toppled her chair, her slim body trembling. "Are you attempting suicide in our apartment, Trevor?" Trevor paused mid-bite. "I'm sorry?" "Computer?" Marka called out to her personal assistant device. "Display the Confederation Toxic Substance Registry, specifically items TR-238, KF-513, and LX-901. The holographic display flickered to life between them. Confederation Toxic Substance Registry, TR-238, coffee species extracts, static, forbidden, Class 3 neurotoxin effects, cardiac acceleration, nervous system overstimulation, addiction lethally, moderate to high in 96.7% of known species, eggs, avian reproductive capsules, static, severe allergic response, cholesterol poisoning, lethally, high in 78.3% of known species, LX-901 bacon, machine-assembled mammalian muscle tissue. Status, forbidden. Class 1, extreme biohazard effects, multiple system failure, carcinogenic, fatal, lipid accumulation, lethally, extreme in 99.2% of known species. Trevor blinked at the display, then shrugged and took a large bite of bacon. "Yeah, we know. That's why it's so good." Marka made a strangled sound from her thin throat. You know these substances are lethal?" "To most species, sure," Trevor said, taking a long sip of coffee. "But humans? We've built civilizations on this stuff. The incident in the dining area spread through Starlight Station like wildfire. By the time the weekly community meeting rolled around, everyone was talking about it. The human residents were voluntarily consuming substances from the forbidden registry." Vood, the station's administrator, called Markai and Trevor Washington into the community hall, where several concerned residents had gathered. Vood's blue-tinted skin pulsed with anxiety, and his spindly frame seemed to sway more than usual. "Is it true?" Vood demanded, his bulbous head pulsating with concern. "Are your human neighbors deliberately consuming Class 1 through 3 toxic substances?" "It's a cultural thing," Trevor offered with an apologetic smile. The administrator's pale skin darkened with stress pigments. "Cultural suicide is not permitted within Confederation space." "With respect, Administrator," Marquet interjected, her long fingers gesturing calmly. "I've been observing Trevor closely since this discovery. He appears to suffer no ill effects from these substances." Vood waved a thin, elongated hand dismissively. "Impossible. The registry has been compiled using data from over 10,000 sentient species across the galaxy. These substances are universally toxic." "Universally except for humans, it seems," Marka replied. The administrator's large eyes swiveled toward Trevor. "Explain." Trevor shrugged. "Earth is Well, it's not exactly a gentle planet. We evolved alongside plants and animals that were trying to kill us, so we developed ways to process toxins. Some of them even became delicacies. Delicacies? The administrator's voice quavered with confusion. You derive pleasure from poison? We call it spice, flavor, kick, Trevor said. Look, I brought some examples. From his bag, Trevor retrieved several containers. The station's environmental sensors immediately blared. Multiple Class 1 IV toxins detected. Emergency containment protocols initiated. Stand down, the administrator ordered, curiosity overwhelming caution. Continue, human. Trevor opened the first container. This is chocolate. Contains theobromine, deadly to most mammals on our own planet, but humans love it. The second container, chili peppers. They contain capsaicin, which is basically a chemical weapon. We put it on our food for fun. The third, coffee beans. We grind them up, run hot water through them, and drink the result every morning. It's got caffeine. A known neurotoxin, interrupted Kip, a green-skinned resident who worked in the station's health clinic. Which helps us focus, Trevor finished. And this is just the beginning. The station's research center convened a special session. Trevor found himself in the community lab, surrounded by curious residents of a dozen different species, all safely ensconced in hazmat containment suits that made their slender bodies look even more alien. Mr. Washington, the lead researcher Fikes, addressed him through a communication barrier, his elongated head bobbing slightly. We have analyzed your food purchases from the station market over the past year. The results are disturbed. The holographic display activated, showing a rotating pie chart. According to our analysis, humans regularly consume items that appear on the toxic substance registry. In fact, approximately 70% of your standard diet consists of items that would be lethal to the rest of the Confederation's species. Trevor nodded. You consume ethanol for recreation, exclaimed Jick, a purple-skinned graduate researcher with eyes that took up half his face. We call it happy hour, Trevor replied with a grin. You deliberately infect milk with bacteria to create these cheese substances? Makes great pizza. You ferment grain until it becomes toxic, then consume it as a staple. Bread. It's the foundation of our civilization. Fix's spindly arms trembled as they manipulated the holographic display. The implications are staggering. Your species has not only developed immunity to most known biological toxins, but you've incorporated them into your culture. You've weaponized your own digestive systems. Trevor frowned. I wouldn't say weaponized. We just like tasty food. One species' tasty food is another species' biochemical warfare, Fix countered. The medical applications alone. That's why we're here, Trevor said. That's why Earth joined the exchange program. The researchers fell silent, their large eyes blinking in unison. Look, Trevor continued, humans eat weird stuff. We drink poison for fun. We deliberately seek out substances that cause pain because we enjoy the sensation. But we've also developed medicines, treatments, and antidotes that the Confederation has never imagined because of this unique relationship with toxins. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device. This is a standard-issue human medical synthesizer. It can neutralize 90% of the toxins in the registry. We developed it for our children, who sometimes eat things they shouldn't. The scientist stared in disbelief, skinny necks craning forward to get a better look. Earth wants to share this technology, Trevor said, not as something extraordinary, but as protection. Because that's what humans do with our weird toxic superpower. We share what works for us. 6 months later, Markov found herself back in the communal dining area of Starlight Station. This time, however, the scene was markedly different. The nutrient dispensers still hummed in the corner, but they were largely ignored. Instead, residents, humans and non-humans alike, gathered around tables laden with carefully prepared dishes from Earth. Each non-human wore a small patch on their skin, a modified version of the human medical synthesizer that monitored and neutralized potential toxic reactions in real time. Trevor sat down across from Marka, his plate piled high with something called tacos. "How's the curry?" he asked, nodding toward her plate. Marka's thin lips curved in what Trevor had come to recognize as her version of a smile. "Remarkable. My system registers it as a Class 2 toxin, but the neutralizer allows me to experience the, what do you call it?" "Flavor," Trevor supplied. "Yes, flavor. Without the corresponding death." She took another careful bite. "The sensation is stimulating." Around them, Trill, a blue-skinned researcher with gangling limbs, was cautiously sampling ice cream, while a group of slim green zaps with bulging eyes debated the merits of different pizza toppings. At a corner table, Glow, the station's quantum physicist, a luminescent entity with spider-like limbs, was experimenting with something called a smoothie. The exchange program reports that shared meals have improved interspecies relations by 42%. Marka noted, "And the medical applications of your synthesizer technology have revolutionized our approach to toxic environments." Trevor grinned. "Just wait until they discover spicy margaritas." Marka's enormous eyes narrowed. "I've reviewed that file. Absolutely not." "Oh, come on, Marka. Where's your sense of adventure?" "I'm eating a substance that would have liquefied my internal organs 6 months ago," she replied dryly. "I believe I've demonstrated sufficient adventure for one lifetime." Trevor laughed and raised his glass of water in a toast. "To humanity's toxic contributions to the galaxy." Marka raised her own glass. "And to the species crazy enough to discover which poisons taste good." Around them, the diverse residents of Starlight Station continued their culinary explorations, united by the strangest of human traits, finding joy in the forbidden, turning danger into delight, and sharing the experience with others. The Galactic Confederation would never be the same, and neither would its menu. Thank you, channel member and Pathfinder Crodmog83, for making this video possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Video shares, memberships, and super thanks help the channel grow as well, so feel free to partner with this channel in that way as we grow. With that all said, thank you again for listening to the story, and thank you for your time. On the left side of your screen are some videos I think you might be interested in. I hope to see you in the next one.